Hello, hello. Is this thing working? Is there anybody out there? Let's see what we got going on here. It is Saturday, August 15th. You are in the star room. I'm doing free readings. These are astrology readings. I need your birth time, birth date, birth city, birth state. If you don't have all the details, let me know. I may be able to still create a chart for you. Don't make up a birth time. Just be honest and tell me you don't know, and we will figure something out. If you get your digits in the chat, that's how we do this. We go by the information that shows up in the chat. You follow? You got to get in the queue to get the reading. So I have on the screen, Dorofina's journey had her digits in first. If I come across a name and the digits aren't there, I just go to the next name in the queue. I hope that makes sense. These are speed readings. These are speed readings. If you want more time on your chart, we can do that. People who send a little something to the channel, send a gift, then I gift you back with time on your chart. And you've got the Venmo, the PayPal, the Cash App. Those are right in the details, right below this live stream. So Dorofina's journey, you're up first, but before we begin, we're going to let a couple more names roll into here to see who else is ready to do this. Yeah, if you have a quick question, give me 1 or 2 words. Otherwise, what I do is I create the chart, and whatever is like the most pressing thing on me or whatever jumps out is just what I talk about. That's what comes out, unless you have something specific. Again, these are speed readings, okay? So for the timeline and the energy that we're in, it is an interesting time. A lot of powerful stuff, right? And let me see here if we can get the software to make sure that we have this all working in order. This is the first time this week I've been able to do all this, to do the software, to try to go live. We just got our power back, and so making sure everything's working. Yeah, we got internet, we got power. We need all those to do a freaking live stream. Okay, so what we're going to do, Dorofina, I believe I have your chart here already. So that makes things move a lot faster when I have your digits already in the system. If I already have your stuff, then just say, you got me in your system. Now, when I go to pull your name up, if it's not there, if I can't find it, if I'm confused, if I'm delayed, whatever the hell that is, if I have to go fishing, I'm going to the next name. You follow? Try to make this easy, okay? You make it easy for everybody, and it just goes a lot smoother, okay? But if you want to, kind of whatever, don't come prepared, it's going to go slow, and we don't want that. We just skip, okay? So with that said, let me remove some of these extra items we have here. Let me get the stuff up for right now, and then we will begin. Oh, I don't know what's going on. This is wacky. Okay, how about this? Let's see what we can see here. Dorofina, what did you want me to focus on? You just had your name. You didn't. Maybe you did say. Let's go through that real quick. Okay, great. All right, so I did check the email. Sometimes people want to, give me a private message or something through the email, and that's running across the bottom of the screen. Oh, you got the Pink Floyd. You got it. Very good. That was that. You got it. Okay, Dorofina said Natural-based practice. 4:45 a.m. Spiritual gifts. Natural-based practice. So, is this part of your question? Is that what you want me to focus on? Yeah, you get the Pink Floyd. Very good. Susanna said, "Can I ask?" Susanna from Houston, give me a couple words down below. You've got your birth digits, your location. I see Houston. You got the time. You didn't say if that's AM or PM. If you're in the States, you need to clarify if that's AM or PM for the 6:30. Maybe you did. Oh, I see 7:04. Yeah, AM or PM. So yeah, I got to have all the details. JV, I see you. You've got your AM. Very good. Salty Mama, how are you doing? I see you're 10:49 AM, and I think you might even be in our system. Anthony, Harris, New York. What is it I meant to do other than taking care of my family? Yeah, right? Good questions. Okay. We are going to get there. Let's see if our system is working. If we can get this all up on the screen. And I think it's working. We'll see. Oh, it's working normally. Finally. God, for a while there, we were going through some weird shit. Okay. So here we are tonight. And we're looking at the moon conjunct Venus in Libra energy. So what does that mean? Look at Uranus down in Gemini at 5 degrees. You see this? So this is the moon and Uranus energy in this beautiful, strong, grand air trine. Strong air trine. So new, different, unconventional friendships, friend energy, feminine energy, home, family, nurturing. It's a supportive, communicative energy that we're in relationships. Maybe even with some authority figures, maybe even like a mom and dad vibe, possibly. The trine suggests an ease in communication, in ideas, in the exchange, in the willing to compromise and meet somebody halfway, and an emotional need connected to these are going to be significant relationships, okay? Significant relationships. It can be business related or personal or both. You follow? So at the opposition, though, right, we had Neptune. See that? The moon would have been in an opposition. 2 hours ago, it would have been an exact opposition. So maybe a little dreamy and fantasy is what that means. Anytime the opposition with Neptune, the connection with Neptune is dreams and fantasy, a sense of even surrender to my ego and to my anger and my impatience. So all these things they matter, especially when we have an out of bounds Mars, which is why this has been such a wicked week. We've had out of bounds Mars and out of bounds Pluto at the same time. And we see today they're matching degrees. 3 degrees, 50 minutes, 3 degrees and 4 minutes. And so this is an uncomfortableness. This is a quincunx energy. This is really good to know in advance, folks. With Pluto, it's always going to be the minutes. So as this Mars increases in minutes, not the degree, but the minutes, the uncomfortableness, the irritation, the agitation is going to be a little bit stronger. So this can be feminine energy, can be within the home and family, can be the public. And over here is power moves, friends who are powerful, groups of powerful people. Yeah, don't even got to go deep into that. There's just so many phenomenal examples of abuses of power globally, especially here in the States. All right, with that said, that's just a little bit of this is the energy that's going on and what we're in the midst of, just in general. So here we go. Let's get to Dorofina's journey. And Dorofina, are you still here? Yeah, I didn't see if you asked. I'm going to stick with that first comment because I think that's nature-based practices and spiritual gifts. That's I guess what you want me to take a focus on. So let's go get your chart. Let's take a quick look at that. And let's see what's what. All right, look at that. It just worked. Thank God. Very sweet. So what's the first thing we see in Dorfina's chart? The first thing that jumped out, spiritual practices, her Pisces moon big time popped right out. And this is usually a sacrifice, some sort of a sacrificial energy, an energy of surrender, an energy that comes down to faith and belief. The Pisces energy wants to, it can mold, change form. It's kind of like the amoeba even, where it can adapt to the environment, adapt to different people, adapt to the comings and the goings, upstream, downstream. It's that fish in the water that can go in either direction. So sometimes with this sort of energy, when we have a moon here, this means that not only is spiritual practices and belief and faith going to be important to you, but also in the placement of partnerships. So in other words, people who you partner up with, there's going to be some sort of a link, even ancestral, even a soul connection, karmic, whatever, however you want to look at it, especially feminine energy, where there might be soul bonds and soul connectivity. Okay. And the link would be, whether it's through creative endeavors, aligning spirituality, but more along the lines of just ancient, way back belief systems that transcend religions. Okay. So this is more of, value-based, meaning this is important to you, and it's hopefully in your mind important to the people that you're considering in partnerships. And if they don't express the energy in that way, Pisces energy can also be people who are more like about fantasy and make-believe, and whose minds seem very different in some way. They're extremely creative individuals. So the way they see things, the way they see the world is more of on a big picture scale. Like they can connect the little things and see the grand scope. They can see it from way back, almost sort of wise type of energy, we might think. It's Christ consciousness energy, frankly, the Pisces stuff. So your moon is there, meaning this is really important to you. It's emotionally satisfying for you. It gives you a sense of emotional stability in significant one-on-one relationships. And these people can also take the same energy, the same Pisces energy. It can be about nature, but it can be about finding a way to have escape and respite. So whether we do that with creating and pretending, or whether we do it through substances, it just depends on how you use the energy. All right. So partnerships here, and their spiritual well-being, their spiritual health, all these things matter. They're all going to be important in terms of, like the foundation of a relationship. Those kind of things have to align. And what would that mean is that likely there's soul alignment, soul energy, soul bonds that are already connected for someone that you would even consider in that way, as far as, the partnership compartment of your life. So with that said, you have a really a strong trine with friends and groups connecting to your moon energy. Your moon connects nice trine from the divine mother goddess energy, which some would say would be Mary. Some could be, it just depends on your perspectives, but it's also, you even have here some Egyptian connection, Hathor, mother goddess of Egypt, goddess of fertility. Okay. So this is another creative, nurturing combination. It's about bringing joy to others, bursts of creativity or invention, and even courage of my conviction to be what? To be different, something unconventional. And your Mars. So you take action. You will take action. This isn't an area of your life where you just dream about it, fantasize about it, but you also take action because your Mars has similar connections. You see that? So this is the communicating and the learning department. Like, I'm not just reading about it. I'm really trying to dive deep because it's Mars and Scorpio. You're taking a deep dive in the third house of learning, right? Trying to deep dive into some of the esoteric energy, some of the mysteries of life, some of the ancient teachings, some of the, mystical, magical, metaphysical kind of stuff. Mystics and mysticisms, some flying object. So when you mention spiritual practices and / nature based, you even literally have that on the comment. Like, that's a Pisces thing right there. Spiritual gifts / nature based practices, because Pisces energy, that 7th house, is also when we're connecting with nature. Because in our realm, in our world, how do we see God, or how do we see the creator? When we look at the sunrise, when we look at a sunset, when we look at the mountains, the ocean, when there's a wicked ass storm that comes through, and all of a sudden we feel this big, right? All of a sudden it's like, whoa, I'm nothing. So that's Pisces energy, the water and the ocean and the depths. And so that's in a very practical way of looking at it, but also a spiritual way, but also, you diving into the esoteric, the mysteries and the ancient teachings. And so you learning about them, but then maybe utilizing it, combining it with friendships and group energy, because your Cancer energy, the history in the past, is in your 11th house. The 11th house is what we're doing tonight. It's streaming. It's online. I'm part of a group. I'm in the chat. And there's some ancestral stuff with the Cancer energy. So the connection between your 7th house moon energy, that moon at 14 rules your Cancer energy in your 11th house. So partnerships, you see that? Group energy. So group as in family, but also unconventional groups, also possibly people you've literally never met. So as far as gifts and mysticism and just all that stuff, you have it there because there's all this oozing of it pouring out because of the water, and that brings the knowledge. The water holds the memory, holds the knowledge of it. So it's there. And if you haven't tapped into it, it's time. It's time to tap into it and to utilize it a little bit more, and to, bring it and make it part of an everyday part of your life. So whether that's meditation time, increasing time alone in solitude, learning to listen to that silent inner voice, getting information, however you want to explore in that realm, absolutely dive into it, because you've got, anytime we have a grand water trine like that, especially with the powerful spots you have it in and with the planets that are there, it tells me that, especially your Mars in the water, Mars doesn't want to sit still with something. And so this might be chanting. This might be actively trying to connect through. There's lots of different breathing exercises and humming. It just means you have to find your thing, like what your tool is. But Mars wants to have it incorporated with its body. You follow? So that sometimes turns into like almost a spiritual, like a martial art type of thing, where we're combining our spirit, an active spiritual essence. You follow? It's a sacredness. Okay. So let's roll through this. I hope that makes sense for you, Dorothy. I know you've been looking at your chart, and hopefully you have your chart in your hand. And if you don't, you should get a chart. You can email me. I can send you this very same chart. That doesn't cost you anything. My passion is that you learn your chart. That's for everybody. That's why I do what I do here. This is to literally help. You follow? I think once people know and understand more about themselves, Pisces energy, understanding the big picture, I think the world would be a different place. Okay. Tea time with nature. Are you here? What is it I'm meant to do? Are you here? 5:45 a.m., Harris, New York. I do believe I have your digits. Let's take a peek and see if we have that. Remember, these are all speed readings. If you want more time, you can get more time with your chart, with me reading your chart. We usually do that if you send a gift to the channel. You gift the channel and the channel gives you back. Other than that, we're just going to go ahead and keep doing the speed readings, all right? It just comes down to what you want. It's up to you. So tea time, let me see if I have your name here. Maybe I have you under a different name, but I feel like I have those digits, like I recognize them. Did you come under a different name by any chance? Because I don't think I have anything under tea time. Are you still here? Tea time said I'm here. Vanessa says the audio is off. Whoop, it's me. Okay, good. Yeah, turn it up. Get to your volume. Turn that thing up. Oh, absolutely. She says, yes, I have the strong urges for the esoteric. Okay, Dorothy. So I hope you saw in your chart with that big ass grand water trine. You follow? You have the Mars over there in Scorpio. You have a moon in Pisces. And then you have strong feminine divine mother goddess energy connected in the Cancer energy. They're all the same degree. So absolutely do not sit still on that. Explore, experiment, and make it a part of your life where you are producing. Karmic Karen, how the heck are you doing? Good job. You've got your digits. You got the time, AM and PM in there. Very good. That helps. Tea time with nature. Let's get your... Oh, it's Anthony Simpson. I do this every time, don't I, Anthony? You're here as Anthony. Thank you for putting that. That's why I'm like, I recognize these digits. My brain just goes right to the digits, and I don't ask me why I skip past the name. I got you, Anthony. My bad. What was your question? Okay, what am I meant to do other than taking care of kids? Yeah, let's do that. And I feel like I might have touched upon this in the past, but let's go take another look at that for you. Okay. Where did it go? Let's get it on the chart, on the screen. Let's get that gone. Remember, these are speed readings, folks. We're going to try to get to everybody, and sometimes we spend more time on a chart, and that's only if somebody gifts the channel, okay? So here we are with Anthony. And Anthony, you have, let me take a look. What am I supposed to do? You're supposed to... We're going to go and look at your North Node in Leo. This is a strong, independent energy. It's supposed to be creative. Now, the thing is there's a healing here. This is what you're supposed to do. Other than raising, this is like a leadership energy. This can be actively having a good time, actively creating. Yes, children are involved. There's a communication that's important with this, because your Mercury, that's a retrograding Mercury, is, it's strong with family. But you also, on the other side of your Leo, you have a couple of objects here. You actually have quite a few. So we call this a stellium when you have all this in Leo. And we're looking at this because it's your North Node, and that's what your soul said. Hey, this is what I came to do. So connected with this is laughter and joy and standing out, but not standing out necessarily just to be about me, right? It's to include others. It is to break the ice using humor to heal even, or whatever it is you can do to be creative. Fun and laughter are important, all right? 20 degrees is a healing degree, and that's what you have. And if you haven't explored being creative, start experimenting with different ways of being creative. Maybe you already are creative. I mean, you have creative Leo in a creative placement. The thing I do see here is that 23 degrees on the third house means this is can be very inspiring as far as learning and teaching. These are partnerships, but they're unconventional. This is even boss and authority figure type of energy. So there can be like some responsibilities involved, but with the Leo energy, it's almost as though fun is going to be a big key, literally like the key. And in your chart, the key is up here, 17 degrees. You have it in Taurus, and it's even at a Leo degree. So there's something here that involves healing. So whether it's the childhood, healing your childhood, maybe that's the combo, is dealing and working with children in some way that helps to bring about healing, perhaps from your childhood, literally. And that, what we've gone through, we can share with others type of thing. Because of the wounds that we've encountered, we're able to help others get to the other side of their own wounds, and not by telling them, but by showing. More like, this is what I've been through, and this is how I handle this, and it's just to share and teach. The third house wants to learn. It's actively learning and sharing. It's taking information in and putting it back out. So partnerships, 23 degrees in Leo. This is creative partnerships. Creative partnerships. So I think color and imagination and uniqueness, being courageous. This can involve hair. This can involve theatrics and dramatics. But remember the word fun and feeling like a kid again. That's huge. I want to see some other things. Yeah, okay. So this is an angle from Uranus energy. It's an exact square to this. So this tells me that this will create a stress and a tension with this, which is fine. Usually some of the most amazing people, especially the creatives, have a lot of strong squares in their charts. And it is the uncomfortableness, which you do have here. You have some major uncomfortableness with values. So unique values, like what it is that you consider part of your creature comfort, right? For most people, it smells good, looks good, tastes good, right? Sensuality, money, right? Yours is a little bit different. Yours is in the 11th house of I'm discovering, I'm inventing. Remember, it's earth energy. So this also is a connection to how you're using your Leo energy in terms of being creative. You have a strong connection with these two fixed signs. They are angling and squaring and creating tension. And it's the tension, it's the friction, it's the stress that, we think of the person who is in the cave and they'd been digging for a diamond or whatever, and they just had been doing it for years and years and years because their great-great-grandfather told them, yeah, your great-great-great-grandfather found something and he said there's more. And so you spent years and years and years, and finally one day you said, I'm so freaking done with this shit. And you got mad and you literally took the hammer or the axe or whatever and you just flung it at the wall and you were like, I'm out of here. And it was that frustration, that anger, that I've just done it and worked at it for so long and hard, and flinging the tool, that when the tool hit and there was an impact, it literally broke open this other stone, and inside of it emerged this amazing jewel, this diamond in the rough, so to speak. But it was after a lot of stress and tension, after somebody reached the end of their rope type of thing. This is the house of gains and angelic realm, is where you have your Taurus energy, the creative energy. So it speaks to something very, very original, very different, something unconventional and hasn't yet been created. So this means you have to practice. This means this is a journey for you. You have to, I can't tell you what that is specifically. You just know that area where your Taurus energy sits is like a scientist. And what do? They treat everything as an experiment. You follow? I know Taurus might have a hard time with that because it's very fixed and rigid and it doesn't want to change. And it's like, oh, but I like this. But no, with Taurus in that 11th house, it's saying, I value different and disruptive and unique, even though it's all a little harsh. So stay on that journey. Always be open to learning. Always be inquisitive. Always stay young in mind, young in heart. And, you just never know, that kind of a mentality. But creativity is the role, without a doubt. Other than raising babies or taking care of family, your next step is to embark on a creative journey and to keep creating. All right, let's move on. So, where are we at? Salty Mama, are you here? You're the next person up. After Salty Mama, it's going to be JV1234. Any insight on love? Then we have Susanna or Susan G after that. So keep your ears perked. Lou S, what's going on, Lou S? How are you doing? View of the chart is crisp and clear. Thank you. The visual of you is not so crisp and clear, but they are here. Okay, good. Yeah, that's sometimes how it goes with StreamYard. It's like they're like, yeah, we can do two visuals, but one's going to look like crap, the other's going to look good. And I'm like, and I see it when I edit videos. That's why my videos, there's many of them where I just don't even have my face on the screen at all because it looks like crap. It's like blurry as hell. And it's like, okay, let's just take that out of the video altogether. So thank you for letting me know, Lou. Let's keep Salty Mama. Did you give me an answer? Are you here? Salty Mama said, I am here. Excellent. Thank you for responding so quickly. Life direction advice. Great. Thank you. That makes it simple. Let's get this up. Remember, these are speed readings, folks, okay? Everyone gets a reading. We're going to move fast. The only time we're not moving super fast is because somebody sent a gift to the channel. Then I take more time based on their gift. All right? It's a channel gift. The payment apps are below if you have the means, and if you feel like doing that, go right on ahead. If not, don't worry about it. We're moving on. Salty Mama Soul Tribe, let me get you up here onto the screen. I know that name, so I know you've been here. There it is. I got you. Woohoo! We got you up and running. I cannot wait to go to sleep tonight and not be freaking out about, like, I don't know, freaking storms and shit. Okay. And sleep through the whole night. It'll be nice. So let's get you on this thing here. I feel like I'm feeling like a relaxing mode now where I'm like, okay, I can just kind of chill. We're out of the storm zone. The Ario Speedwagon riding the storm out type of shit. All right, let's go to this life direction thing. Okay, so let's take a peek on this life direction. We want to pay attention to the North Node in a person's chart. Yours is about independent action, individuality, very strong, very strong. Independent energy, very strong, especially because it's in your first house, but it's also at an independent degree. So whatever you do, there's a saying that I came across a week or two ago, whenever the hell it was, and it said that our fated energy is all about we, you and me, but our destiny is me energy. So this is for all of us, but for folks who have a signature in their chart, and when I call something a signature, it shows me there are multiple objects, multiple points, multiple degrees that mean the same thing. You follow? And your chart has the 25 degrees and the independent energy quite strongly. So it's a signature. You even have your Uranus energy, which is in relationships, Libra, in relationships, but it's at an Aries degree. You see? So it says, I need to break free, break away, unconventional. And this is telling you in these significant one-on-one relationships in your 8th house of deeply bonded energy, of we have shared energy together. We've shared wounds. We've shared the past, the history. We have karmic bonds. We have ties that bind, right? Whether it's blood bonds, energetic bonds, vibrationally, we are bonded. Uranus says break the hell free. You follow? It says break free. You even have Pandora's box there at a freaking healing and severing of bonds, severing the history in the past degree. Now, does this mean we just break free from every relationship? No. What it does say is we want to try to live a life where we're not creating more karma that bonds and binds us to another. You follow? So it's deep for you. It's in your 8th house. And it's definitely significant one-on-one relationships because that's where your not professional, let me rephrase that. That's where your superpower is. Your South Node's in Leo at 25 degrees in the 7th house. Again, more significant independent energy, but it's in partnerships, so personal and professional. The trick is you want to be clean and free this lifetime. You want to have a lifetime where if I'm creating karma, which can go both ways, it's not about good or bad. It's about one is heavy, one has chains, one binds me. The other one is more like a field of grace that surrounds me. You follow? Which one do you want? You want the field of grace, right? So you want to live a lifetime where you're not creating additional karmic chains and bonds, okay? And yeah, as I'm seeing your sun in Saggy, values freedom and independence and the ability to go on a journey. Yeah. Again, signature bonds in this life. So as far as a life direction, this may be a little too deep. Maybe it's not, because when people say life direction, does that mean direction as far as career, right? And I mean, I'm going to be honest with everybody here. My specialty is the soul stuff. Sure, I can look at career stuff for you. I can go ahead and do that. But if somebody talks to me and says, I need direction, life direction, I automatically, what comes up in me automatically is every life is valuable and don't waste the time. And so soul energy, soul life, soul mission becomes first and foremost. So if that's not what you're looking for, you got to let me know. That's beyond you. But I don't think so. You have a Pluto at 29 degrees. Pluto is about depth. So this is service that is deeply meaningful. Okay. Powerful energy. It is partnership energy, likely connecting again with the past, but it's Pluto. So with Pluto, we're destroying and creating. It's the ability to do both. It's the same energy. Okay. Doesn't mean we have to literally destroy somebody. It just means, how do we get through this life without those bonds that bind? Okay. And truly live free, right? Truly live free. That's a whole nother thing altogether, because that takes a commitment on an energetic level, an intellectual, an emotional, an intentional level. Very mindful, Buddha-like energy. So if you can do that, there you go. There's your mission. Woo. All right. I hope that helps, Salty Mama. We're moving. We're going to next one up after Salty Mama. I believe we have on the screen JV1234. Are you here, JV? 6 a.m. Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic. Any insight in love? All right. I think I already have your digits. Are you here, though? When I ask if you're here, please right away make sure that you're answering back in the chat. If I don't see you in the chat, then I move on to the next name because I'm not going to read a chart if somebody's already left the chat. Let me take a peek and see. So that's what it's telling me. What's DKR saying here? Had me an out-of-body experience. Oh, you must be having a conversation with somebody. I'll mind my business. Let me look and see if JV is here. JV may have decided to scroll on. JV, are you out there? Cancel. Let's do view channel. And oh yeah, I should probably put a thumbs up. Has anybody put a thumbs up on this thing? Thumbs up and help the channel help you. These are ad-free lives. Share the live stream out if you know anybody who might benefit from a free quick reading, or they just, yeah, whatever. Oh, good. Okay, I found the live stream and okay, JV's here. That was what I was concerned. Sometimes I see her on my phone that JV said I'm here, but I don't see it in this chat. Oh, it just came in here. I think YouTube is a little slow on this end too. I see you, JV. Very good. Okay, great. Then we will get you up here. Let's do a thumbs up for the live stream. Yeah, these are free readings, free speed readings, okay? Help the channel, help you guys. I would like to keep doing these. It's kind of the mission. It's kind of the channel's, I hate to use the word ministry, but that is what it is. That is what it is. Thank you, Karen. I appreciate that. All right, let's get JV's chart on the screen. And let's take a peek. Oh, yeah, that was quick. That's so great. I love it when this stuff just works fast. It's so convenient. Salty Mama said, aha. Okay, Salty Mama said that makes sense. Yeah, I got you, Salty Mama. All right, so let me take a look at this real quick here. And oh, hold on, something popped on this. There we go. So JV said a quick 1 or 2 words about love. All right. So, okay. So first off, your love language is your Venus, okay? I know people just want a simple 1, 2, 3 word answer about love. It always leads back to self, okay? Your love language is in Venus. How you love, how you want to be loved, right? And your Sun and your Mercury are all connected to this. And chaos. That symbol right there is chaos. You see? You see the stellium in Aquarius? Shocks, surprises, disruptions. You see that shit? Unique, different, unconventional, which might mean if it's staring me in the face, would I recognize it? Would I value it? You see what I'm saying? Right. It's tricky energy. Mercury's tricky, but chaos and Mercury are conjunct, and so is your Sun, and so is your Venus. Your love language is in a strong stellium of expect the unexpected. You follow? So it's fixed energy, which can be very difficult. This has to do with my intellect, my mindset, the communication style. It can be very stubborn, right? It won't budge even. And you have the 24 degrees on the house, the placement of love and desires with Jupiter right there. So there can be times where you might have a whole lot of options. And then there might be other times where things get really strange. It's Aquarius. It's a mixture of Pisces and Aquarius together. It's friends, it's group energy, it's service, it's sacrifice, can be really creative and sensitive and altruistic and loving, all those things. But then it's like those things they can be quite complicated. Aquarius energy can be really detached. These are those scientists, right? So there can be certain things about them that we're really drawn to. Like, I love your beautiful mind, but it's like, oh my God, but I can't live with your beautiful mind. Or I remember one time somebody who had strong Aquarian energy, and oh my God, it was a relationship where you never felt more alone. Honestly, because it was like when it was on, but when it wasn't, holy shit, it was like they left the building, and it wasn't to be mean or cruel. It was just trying, if you didn't understand that energy, because that's an energy that needs its space, its independence, and its freedom. So I'm telling you all this because it's part of that love language for you. You follow? So that can make it really complicated. This is also very much boss energy. Like, I'm the authority of me, damn it. And so the word compromise doesn't come into play anywhere in that. And that can make love, unless we're looking for quick, hard, and fast, and not lasting love, but just love or lust or whatever the hell we want to call that. Or right? So things can get tricky. Now, with all that said, you have a beautiful grand air trine with your second house cusp line, with your Jupiter, with your sixth house cusp line of communication and talking to someone that I live with, and the avenues of communication, the rapport and the back and forth working really smoothly. Spica's up there at 23, which is a beneficial fixed star. So it can happen. It's just that there's a lot of stuff that can be intense and deep. And yeah, there's a lot of work in these areas. So this is deeply bonded relationships, and it's in the 10th house of a slow go, meaning you're not going to get those rewards right away of those deeply bonded relationships. You follow? Like, you can feel them, but they might not be, it's a delayed energy. We'll put it like that. It's delayed. Okay. It doesn't help that your Saturn's in a freedom loving sign either with partnerships. They're both in freedom. So maybe this means that the partnerships are someone who's overseas, someone who's speaks a different language than me, who looks a little bit different than me. Maybe that's where the answer lies for you. Someone who absolutely is unconventional, because that would align with your Aquarius energy. Well, it also aligns with the long-term successful partnerships, which would be Saturn and Juno in Saggy. You follow? So it just might be like that your type, or what's been drawn to you or attracted to you normally hasn't been working out, because there's a lot of complexities within this in your chart. Now, with all of that said, really, really quickly, I'm going to make a quick change here and look at something that might help. And let's do this real quick. Okay, got it. There's the moon. South node is there. Significant one-on-one relationships with Pluto right next to it. No wonder. Change. Deep bonded relationships, but they have to be deeply meaningful. There has to be growth. There has to be change. Otherwise, you're out. Uranus came through and threw a doozy into things, no doubt. Big time. When Uranus hit air, I could see that for sure. The chance of something new. That just sounded wrong. That sounded wrong. New and exciting, different. Okay, you do have Jupiter going through the 7th house in this chart. Okay, so that's a good thing. That gives us opportunities for relationships. It was already trining and connecting with Saturn, which means work, which means there might be a slowdown. You just had the sun in a trine with Uranus, literally like yesterday and the day before. That would have been new, exciting, and different. A deep bond that was unconventional, new, exciting, and different. Partnership energy. And you're thinking about those things because this is here. Okay. Venus is your great benefic. So when we talk about Venus in your chart, that matters, and you're thinking about the future of love right now. Okay, so things are probably, if you're in a current relationship, things take a more serious turn for you. So whether that is a partnership, personal or professional or both, Venus will be at your midheaven, which is, we're talking about values and desires and love and commitment and long-term energy. Okay? So that begins in September. Now, if you aren't in a relationship, if you're not in anything right now and you're looking, if it's something that's going to be like new and different, then that may bring a new opportunity or somebody you never considered before. All of a sudden, partnership energy becomes strong, becomes, like there's a possibility here, or, maybe just somebody new on your radar even. Okay. So I hope that helps. Let me save that chart for you so that we have that. Yeah. All right. So let's take a look and see what we got. After that, these are free readings, folks. All right. We're going to have speed readings. We're going to try to get to everybody before we end tonight. Sometimes we take a little bit longer, and that's if somebody has sent a gift to the channel. Other than that, you get a speed reading. All right. So we are on to the next one in the chat right after JV. Let's see. We have, is Susan still here? Susan G. Yeah, Susan G, I think I have your digits already. That sounds familiar. I believe you're here. Hey, DKR, I see you. How are you doing? Hey, Christy, how the heck are you doing, amiga? Karmic Karen, I think you're going to be, I think you're getting close. Or maybe it was Vanessa that was next. Yeah, so hang in there. We're going to get to you. After Susan, Lou S, I believe. Lou S is here, but Lou S, I think, said I'm passing. Yeah, Lou S said I'm passing. So after Susan G, we're going to Karmic Karen. And if Susan isn't here, then Karen, you will be next. Okay. After Karmic Karen, we go to Vanessa. All right. And Vanessa, do I have all your stuff? Vanessa, did you include a birth time? Vanessa says, I was born December 10th, 1968 in Columbia, Missouri. Vanessa, do you have a birth time? If you don't, please make sure to let me. Oh, Vanessa has a birth time. I see it later on. Okay. So is Susan G here? Susan G. Going once. Let me check my phone real quick before I blow past this. I don't see. Susan G, are you here? Love the rainbows, absolutely. Okay. All right, so guess who's up? Guess who's up? Karmic Karen, it's your turn. Woohoo. Let's get to Karmic Karen real quick here, since we're not seeing that Susan's here. All right. Karen, did you have something you wanted me to focus on? Haven't got you for a while. Karen gave me all her digits. Very good. All right. 1 or 2 words. If not, then whatever pops out is what we're going with. Oh, nice question, DKR. I see that deep question. I like those deep questions. Am I being put into a position to escape the reincarnation loop at the end of this physical life? Deep, deep questions. All right, let's get Karmic Karen's chart up here, and it's time for me to... Karmic Karen, you're right there. Great. Let's get this on the screen. There we go. Okay, let me get that out of there. So some people like to look at the chart so they can learn while we read. All right, so after Karmic Karen, it's going to be your turn, Vanessa, okay? And then DKR, I think you're after that. Believe it or not, finally, right? All right, so let's get Karmic Karen's chart. And did everybody like the live stream or share it or whatever the hell? Help the channel, help you. Oh, Karmic Karen says, anything for love? DKR says, I think I'm a thinker, mate. No, those are the good ones, the thinkers. We need you times a trillion, okay? We don't have enough thinkers, especially anyway. I don't even have to finish that statement. Everybody already knows. Okay, so Karen says love boat. Okay. All right. So you had a nodal return in the last 18 months in the 7th house of partnerships. Got it. Pisces energy. Something or someone gets dissolved, disappears, starts to look fuzzy, blurry. We're like, okay, are they still here? It's in the placement of partnerships. So you had that in the last 18 months. All right. So now you've got this energy running through the 5th house and the 6th house. Okay, so it's focused right now. You don't have anything in those high degrees that way, but you do over here. You're going to have the South Node in your 12th house. Okay, so this is theatrical kind of energy, dreams, fantasy, but it's romantic partnerships, right? Like my ideal romantic partner type of energy. Yeah, you'll have the South Node there, so that can trigger something. Now, that's a little bit of ways off, literally, like over a year before it touches your Pluto. Okay, so that's some time off. But in the meantime, we'll go find your Venus. Venus is our love language. If you're a female looking for masculine partnership, masculine energy, then we're focused on a Jupiter energy for you. And this is your great benefic in your chart. And it tells me that when that happens, this would be somebody who's quite freedom loving and independent, leadership role even. You have deep bonds with those sort of people. This can be, of course, esoteric type of energy, mystical, magical, metaphysical, like it's the 8th house, the occult, right? Spiritual beliefs involved with that. That's where your Jupiter is. That's your great benefic. That's Jupiter is the one that a woman gets serious about. The marrying kind, the marriage material worthy kind of energy. But can be kind of on the juvenile side, can be like a need for freedom, can be the need to break away. So that can make that tricky. Okay. So let me understand this better, Pisces. So this is going to be your Jupiter energy as well. So you're connected through energetic bonds, vibrational bonds to the past and karma. And this tells me disruptions. So you can have those bonds and those connections, but it's almost like there's always going to be this disruptive factor, like the shock and surprise factor. Okay. History in the past can be in the placement of friends, where even online stuff, like even tonight, connecting with friends, 11th house is astrology, right? And you have Uranus in the 11th house. So there can be connections that are made, but this is energy that is more short term. It's more momentary. It's more sporadic, spontaneous, and not necessarily long term. So that makes that tricky because that angles that Jupiter. And yeah, it makes it complicated. It makes it complicated. All right, so let's take a look and see. Let me do the same that I just did in the other chart. Let me flip this real quick. Let's go look at another chart for you and see if we can get some other indicators on what love holds for you in the near future. Okay, interesting. So put Jupiter in your 8th house. You see that? Okay. 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 This is wild. Even in this chart, chart's placing domestic energy, like people we live with, right? Can be job and work, the people that we're gonna cohabitate with, soul bonds, connections to the past, lots of hard work, duty, and responsibility, very serious energy. And Saturn is somebody that we commit to for the long haul. So that's why I'm looking at that. And that matters, right? And this is probably what you desire. At least that's what this chart shows. It should be practical, tangible. It should make sense. It should work. It's not necessarily based on the frills. It's more logical, connected. I think let me put these transits on real quick. Okay, this is right. You do have Venus going through your 2nd house of love. So that helps in this chart. Let me see. Your Venus is in Leo. So this is romantic relationship and partnerships. So if you're already in a relationship right now, currently, the Venus will be touching on your Neptune. So that can make the love, the domestic love, the practical day-to-day stuff. It can kind of feel like, there's something dreamy and beautiful about it. So in other words, the dull drums of the everyday regular stuff, the routine, the plain old, we're going to escape from the routine. So that's literally like August 20th, 21st, 22nd, 23rd. This gives that timeline a sense and a feeling of escape and maybe exciting, but different, and even respite from the usual stuff. So that can be a nice time if that's what you're looking for. And then you do have some spicy kind of energy coming up, like a week later. You'll have Mars touching your Uranus energy. And usually those are shocks and surprises, activities, but communication and learning. And yeah. Just pay attention to dreams and fantasies, okay? Because in this chart with your Leo energy in the 12th house, it says that the ideal and, your nirvana type of, oh my God, bliss type of energy connected to romanticism And partnerships and relationships, just take it slow is what this is showing, because we might be easily deceived, like we're in love with being in love, or in love with, having a partnership and a relationship type of energy. So there just might be some confusions where we're just maybe putting somebody even on a pedestal, right? We're not being realistic, possibly. So that just means we're just trying to be smart and see the truth of who somebody is. Okay. All right. So I hope that helps a little bit. And remember, that was just a week later, right? And remember what preceded that the week before. It was Venus and Neptune, which means when it comes to love, I might be a little, a little under the veil, rose-colored glasses, illusions, delusions. Venus is also our values, which means our money and our cha-ching, our money in the bank account. So this, it's with love too. It's both. It's all of it. So make sure that we're just like being cautious and we're not doing anything that requires major changes or commitments during that fun time. Just see it as a fun time, as a respite, but not anything to consider serious until we, spend time, literally. Okay. All right. So after Karmic Karen, we're moving on to, I think it's Vanessa, right? Vanessa says, will my stepsister talk to me? And you did put your time in here. All right. So Vanessa, I can't remember if you've been here before. Let me go take a peek and see if you've been here. I don't know why, but I feel like you've been here before. I could be wrong. Maybe you were here and I just never got to create your chart. That might have happened. So yeah, these are all speed readings. These are free, by the way. Okay. Every now and then someone will send a gift. And if they do that, then I spend more time. Okay. Oh, you are here, Vanessa. Vanessa, 5381, December 10th, 1968. That's why you didn't have your birth time. Okay. And at the time, my brain was focused on other stuff. I didn't recognize it. Okay. So let's get this chart up here. It goes fast sometimes, guys, because these are so far free readings, and a free reading is a speed reading. And here we have, oops, let's get that out of the way a little bit. There we go. Okay, so you want to know about your sister. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and do the other thing since you had a specific question. I'm just going to take care of it right now. Let's just get that in here. Okay, so as far as communications, I like the, oh wait, let me look at some of these other angles first real quick before I make a comment on this. Okay, so you do, okay. Okay, here's the deal. There is an opportunity for communication. You're in it already. The doors of communication are open right now. It is all about your approach, because there is an angry person involved. Eris is here, and she matches the Mercury degree. There's a lot here at 17. There's a lot here. So this means somebody can be acting like a child. Someone can be acting as though like they're the boss. You're not the boss of me, or I am the boss of you, or, somebody who wants to be the authority, the take charge kind of person. So there's a lot of strong energy here, a lot of strong personality, and probably some dramatics, big time dramatics. But there's also some intense energy here. There's also some emotional and intellect here with feelings and family and feminine energy. And the line of communication is here. Let me see if you have, okay, Jupiter's your great benefic, so this is actually good. This is actually good because it's Jupiter and Mercury working together, and they're trining your Juno, they're trining your descendant in this chart. This is with people you have deep bonds with. Oh, yeah. See, you're going to have Mercury trining Mercury. Okay. So you have to approach in a way where, if you honestly want open communication, the Scorpio energy gives us the ability to have a deep conversation. The difference comes down to, do we go in overconfident and cocky? Do we go in with the ego there? But if we walk in with a sense of humility and grace and just more humble than anything, because I want to understand somebody, I want to understand, what happened or why they feel the way they feel, and being open to listening. It doesn't mean I have to agree with it. It's really just to understand. You follow? And so if you take that approach, a Pisces approach, a Scorpio approach, because ultimately we want to heal and move beyond this, because there's history with this. This goes back. Anytime we talk about Scorpio or Pluto energy, this is energetic residue. So in other words, the energetic residue, if it doesn't ever get resolved, it keeps rehashing, but looking differently, even though it's the same goddamn story over and over. You follow? So you have this in relationships with family and siblings and mom energy, ancestry, people I live with, but also significant one-on-one relationships and professional partnerships and friendships. You have water in all those locations. So when it's good, right? But if it's not, it's not. And it can be tricky. So just remember that you have the ability to change, to transform, for forgiveness and heal with a Neptune in Scorpio at 3 degrees. And you have the window of opportunity from right now. Oh, so you have to use this window because, like I said, you're already in it. You have the window of opportunity, and it will be over by August 22nd. Now, there can be some other favorable things that occur. I'm strictly looking at a few different transits. Jupiter will still be making a contact, but Mercury's going to be going into fixed energy, which means it's going to be throwing a square and an angle to all that Scorpio energy in significant one-on-one relationships. You follow? So I would take advantage of the energetic cycle that you are in right now. All right. We are moving on. And DKR, it is finally your turn. Let's get you up here. These are speed readings, everybody. We're going to try to get to everybody. We are moving through the chat. Speed readings is a free reading. And let me get DKR up here. And I know you're here because I've looked at your chart before. I got to find the D's. Okay, I got it. Finally. There's a lot of names here. Woohoo! DKR's got a nice question. Look at this. I love the depth. Am I being put into position to escape the reincarnation loop at the end of this physical life? It's a deep question. So I'm going to do what I've been doing for everybody, because God knows I've looked at this chart multiple times for you before, and that other chart definitely suggests that. But let's look at this one too and see what we come up with. When we're on a chart that talks more of a spiritual journey, then we know that it's way beyond, what we're earning, what we're collecting, what we're gaining, what we're obsessing over, right? When we're not doing that anymore, then we're working on a spiritual life, right? Which is a very different mission. It's a different mission altogether. And if we are looking to get off, well, I have to word this carefully. Am I in a position, being put into a position to escape the reincarnation loop at the end of this physical life? All right, so with that question in my mind, Pisces in the 3rd house. Interesting. All Pisces with a lot of planets there. Moon in Pisces at 1 with the Chiron right next to it. And I see this other stellium, Mars, Venus, Jupiter in the Gemini energy, which means it's a square. Let's see. What do we have? Neptune 26, South Node 28. Retrograding Mercury. This chart, I can't remember the other chart. Like, I don't have it memorized. 0 degrees on the 2nd house cusp line. So my desire energy is very strong. And do you feel as though you are at a point in your journey there where your desire nature is under control? Do you feel that you can control your desire nature? I mean, those are really simple ways to find out. Because if you feel that you've already done that or that you're doing it and you're successful at it, like, that's freaking huge. And that would answer your question. So the desire for whatever it is you desire at 0 when I see 0 degrees, that's, 0 and 29 are like these big tests. They are critical degrees. They are, they're not to be taken lightly. It's a really extreme energy. Now, this would say detached from desires, right? 0 degrees in Aquarius. That's some intense stuff. Yeah. Oh, this shows a Pallas Athena right there on that 4th house cusp line. So your desire then, it's almost like it's like a mixture of a coming home and a coming of age energy with the Pallas Athena here, and in the Pisces, like karmic energy, but soul energy. It's a release. It's a let go. It can be a completion to a cycle if that is what you desire. And it's connected to home. You follow? But it's the belief about this can, let me put it to you like this. If I were to say no, like that isn't the mission, how would you feel? Because this is showing that you have a desire for that, a strong desire, almost like it's a homing beacon. You follow? But if that's not the case, what would that do to you? How would you feel? Like, would you lose it? You follow what I'm saying? Or are you actually so detached from the outcome that it doesn't matter? It's about the journey and you just take it as it comes. Which is it for you? You follow? But you have Pallas Athena right here in this chart. And it's at a desired degree. So the plotting, the planning, being strategic, even in a very creative way, in Pisces, but it can be fantastical and kind of dreamy. And it's connected to your Neptune up here and your South Node. Like they are in a direct connection with this. And that creates, I think, let me see something real quick. 28. So yeah, this creates, geez, this is interesting. Yeah, the finger of God energy comes up here. And it's big planets that are part of it. And so that can put these strong impressions on us. And the number 26 is all over your chart. This is all desire energy, 26 degrees. You've got it in multiple places. Even the faded energy is at 26. Your Jupiter is at 26. Your Neptune also at 26. You follow? Yeah, so there's the desire, the sneaky desire energy is kind of crept in multiple ways. So as far as releasing and letting go and getting off the wheel of incarnation, I think that with a person and their mind energy in the third house like this, I think the idea of freedom, Uranus at the opposition, and it's on your 9th house cusp line, it just comes down to what do you desire? So does this mean ultimately that your next round is going to be that? I don't think I can answer that question for you. I think this comes down to you and the plan you made before you incarnated in this time. And because of all the Pisces and the Neptune and your own desire and own free will energy, you have to figure that. It's almost like you have to answer that question for yourself when you're done with this time. So if you have checked all the boxes, then yeah, I feel like you could do that if you've checked all those boxes. Whatever all those boxes are that you have set up. You follow what I'm saying? But you have definitely some strong impressions. And it doesn't mean that they can't be true, but they do they put us under some very strong influences in regards to our beliefs. And breaking free for sure is here. For sure. And thinking about the future, because this Uranus energy with Pluto right there is connected to the 9th house cusp line of I'm thinking about my future. You see that? So in this chart, it looks really plain, like, well, this is part of your plan. This is part of your spirituality, right? This is your philosophy on your spiritual life type of thing. So I think that I think it's possible because you do have some interesting connections. And the interesting connections come down to Venus. You've got the 26, and the 26 strong mini trine at the top of your kite. So it's almost like, yeah, you tell me. Your Venus and your Jupiter are conjunct in that chart too. Holy shit. That's some big stuff. That's some big stuff you have there. Yeah. Okay, next in line. These are speed readings. Every now and then somebody will send a channel gift because they want more time spent on their chart. And if they do that, then we take a little bit more time, okay? It's all based on how much somebody sends. And if you don't have the means to do that, then don't worry about it. You get a speed reading, okay? So we're going to flow through these. We got a little bit more time left here. We got about a half hour to go. I know sometimes I go over. I will not be able to do that tonight. I'm really looking forward to just laying down and actually being able to sleep tonight with no, storm anxiety shit. Looking forward to just having like a chill evening. So with all that said, let me move and see DKR. Who was after DKR? Crystal. Hello, beautiful souls. Crystal didn't have digits, so we're scrolling past that one. You got to have your digits here. All right, we did Salty Mama. I don't know if I went backwards. Who was after this? That's what it's telling me. I had an outer body experience with it. Oh, yeah, I must be talking about something else. Okay, we did JV. We did Karmic Karen. Oh, we got Inland ML Aquarius separated from Aquarius. Okay. Any insights on the love? Oh, boy. I'm just seeing JV's comments. Jazz, what's going on, Jazz? I think you're next. I hope I'm doing this right. Hope I've got the order right. March 7th, 1971, 2:15 a.m. Are you here? May I have a reading? What's new? What's coming for me? Next 12 months, you ain't getting 12 months in a free reading. I'm just saying. Let's be real here. All right. So, if you want to send, you want to send a little something to the channel or you want to set aside some time, no problem. But I think you're next. And I can create your chart because remember, these are free readings, which means they're speed readings. You get it? Okay. So let's get you set up. Wait, did you say you were here? Let me find that phone. Let me make sure before I start getting myself caught up in somebody's stuff and they're not here. We're looking for Jazz. Is Jazz here? This would be Jazz, March 7th, 1971. Okay, the air conditioning is like on frigid at this moment. I started off fine and now it's like icicles. Did Jazz leave? Oh, Jazz is here. Okay. Jazz said I'm here. Great. Navigate the current nodes. All right, just hang in there, Stephen. I see you. We'll get to you. And if I don't get to you, I'm going to try for sure. But, provided there's no crazy ass weather, we usually do this at least a couple of times a week. Okay. And you got to put the alert on your thing so that you know when I go live. They're usually kind of like a surprise live thing. Because even when I have plans, shit just happens. Which is kind of why I got to leave them as a surprise live. Like once I go live, you'll get the notice. And then you got to kind of just find the channel D5Y. Yeah, that seems familiar. Jess, did I already have your digits? March 7th, 1971. 2:15 a.m. Very good. And where do you live? I'm sorry, where were you born? Oh, there we go. Punjab, India. Okay. Yeah, I'm like, have I seen your chart before? Let's get this on the screen. You tell me if this is you. Have you seen your chart before? Oh, I already do have you in the system. I thought so. I'm like, wait a minute. I think I recognize this. Dang. All right, let's see if I... This one's showing a Saggy Rising. Is that you, the Saggy Rising? I don't know what the other chart... I can't remember if the other chart had that, but this is it. Okay, let's show you the chart. There it is. Ooh, 0 degree moon in this chart. Okay. Sun is below, so Venus is the great benefic. Okay. So what we're going to do is this is what jumped out. So I have a video that's going to be coming up on the channel. I'm hoping to have it up by tomorrow. It's a really good possibility it might not be up by tomorrow, but it will include the eclipse, the next eclipse that's coming up, and it'll have for all the rising signs in it. And for you, this is what's jumping out right at this moment. The eclipse is happening in this third house of communication, home, family, siblings. So, this can be people who are far away, though, or there's something blurry or dreamy, like it's not defined real well kind of energy. It's a creative energy, but it's constantly changing, fluctuating, kind of go with the flow. Or even the 3-degree thing you have here, plotting, planning, being strategic. This can be a release, a let go of a communication style. How about learning, graduation? This can be healing energy like hospitals. This can be institutional energy like government energy. So this is communications, contracts, writing, right? Business. This can be part of this. Third house is business, is let's make a deal. It's trade, it's commerce. And so overseas, even if I already didn't say that, but I think I did, but I related it to, maybe, if there was anything with relatives type of stuff. But if it's not the communication style, this requires, a let go of a belief about that, which I used to be involved in. So sometimes it's even it's shaped around a religious belief even. But it's a surrender and an understanding and maybe a forgiveness energy too. So if it's not about business for you, I don't know why. I guess maybe because the number 3 is there and it's in the third house. I don't know why. I'm feeling so strongly like there's a family thing here. This is what's coming through strongly for me right now. There's something strong about the family thing here, which would mean this can be, someone I'm close to that feels like family. This can be a coworker, can be a neighbor, or it can actually be like blood family. But it would be someone that we have some sort of a bond with too, okay? A deep bond. And maybe an ending. Maybe someone just goes away. Maybe somebody goes on vacation, right? Maybe somebody is no longer working with you or changes departments, right? It can look a lot of different ways, all right? But I will say that in this chart, the eclipse for you does connect with the deep Scorpio energy and even your moon over there in Cancer energy. So this tells me that significant one-on-one relationships can be a thing, but also the relationships that are where we have these invisible threads, these invisible bonds, because energetically we're connected. All right. So karmic energy, past life energy, like this is all part of this. So usually these are powerful. Usually they're kind of intense, but it involves a new beginning as well. It's not an eclipse where it's just an ending to something. So it can be an ending to the way you talk and communicate, and an ending to maybe you're going to university and maybe the course is over, or you finished and a new one is starting, because that's the kind of eclipse this is that's coming up. It is the end of something. And in your case, communication, learning, teaching, writing, maybe something on social media, maybe creating on social media, maybe like, because it's sound, music, images, it's Pisces energy. It's a Pisces eclipse. You follow? Yeah. It's a Pisces eclipse. So there might be communication and conversation that could lead to an understanding and forgiveness, and maybe the new beginning will follow, but like a new way of doing those very same things, because the other stuff I let go of was outdated, and it's time to sever that old crap. This is like a final severing type of thing with this energy. Okay. All right. Who was after Jazz? Let me see what we got here. Oh, Christy's passing. Just seeing that now. Inland said, oh, well. All righty. Let me find a name. We haven't, we're going in order. And okay, so the next name in line is Venus Rising. Are you here, Venus Rising? And I have your chart. Great. Are you still here? That's the question. Is Venus Rising here? Venus Rising might have left. Let me go take a peek. Venus, I hope you're still here. I see you sent a gift to the channel. Thank you so much, Venus. Let's see if you're still here. I imagine you're here somewhere. Let me go find your chart. Is Venus here? Oh, yeah, Venus is here. Look at that. Thank you so much, Venus. Got it. Okay. Let me find you. Open. Let's go to the V's. Did you include yeah, well, here's the funny thing. The chart I'm looking at that I'm considering, like, it doesn't say Venus Rising. It says Venus. There's a Venus and then there's a Venus Pisces. They both say March 18th, 1982. Is that your birthday, March 8th, 1980? March 18th, 1982? I just might need to change the name to Venus Rising because that's the name you came as, Venus Rising. Let me show you the chart. There we go. This is a Venus Pisces, March 18th, 1982, 3:56 a.m., Annapolis, Maryland. Is that you? Pisces at 27 degrees sun. And you have a moon in Capricorn at 4 degrees. Woohoo! Correct. Yay. Okay, great. Let me put the name correctly. And did you put down what you wanted me to focus on? You sent a channel gift, so let me make sure I see that for you. Let me click over here. Maybe you did. All right, so Venus Rising. What am I focusing on for you? What was your question? Did you have a question? Wow. Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay. Here we go. Took me a while to read that. Okay. So here's your eclipse energy. It is conjunct your Mercury in your first house. That's your appearance, your physical body, your location, your head, how you appear to people. Pisces energy can kind of have that movie star effect on people. Pisces energy also has to learn to establish healthy boundaries with their physical body in the first house. It's very important. But it isn't just the physical body, it's also the energetics, right? Because we're sponges, right? Yeah. So this is a release. It's a let go. And so the Mercury says, I'm changing something. I'm releasing and letting go. Maybe the way I think about myself, the self-talk that I have in my head about my appearance even, because your mind energy is activated here. And it's at the 6 degrees, which tells me there might be a rewiring in the nervous system for the physical body, for the benefit of the physical body. But the change may be initiated for health reasons. Maybe there's something. Pisces can be really, other than energetically sensitive and being a sponge, feeling easily overwhelmed energy, but you also have Aquarius on the ascendant here. So you have a mixed bag of, it's complex energy is what I'm saying. It's a mixture. But having a Pisces sun means downtime, solitude time, quiet time, respite time, sleep time. When we sleep, we restore, we rejuvenate. And that's probably a big part of this. So will I do that for myself, or have I been sacrificing myself, sacrificing my boundaries, sacrificing my space? That's the question. And having your Mercury be part of it, it might be connected to friends, coworkers, siblings, neighbors, because that's Mercury. So it might be people that you are used to having in your immediate environment, and there might be a need. A job can be a part of it too, right? 6 degrees, health, home, domestic energy, job, pets even, that can be a part of this. Sometimes people with the Pisces in the first house, many of them have told me, and I've seen it in their pictures. Yeah, believe it or not. People who are like overseas, they'll email me pictures of themselves. And it's really, it's just all in good. It's not about, people sending whatever those things are that, yeah, anyway. It's literally just souls connecting with other souls, and people like feeling like they know you, and they're like, oh yeah, this is who I am, type of thing. They look like movie stars. They just do. There's something really unique about them, something that stands out. And so these people have told me that when they're in the public, sometimes people they don't even know will feel like drawn to them. Like, should I know you? Like, you look like someone that might be famous, type of energy. And many times they've been touched, like by complete strangers. And it's not necessarily like an inappropriate, how a female may feel violated, by whoever. It's really people who are curious and who like may touch their hair without asking, just walk up and be like, "Ooh, I like the way you do your," while they're touching their hair, right? Which is like, hello, back up, don't touch my body, give me my space. I've had Pisces in the first house people tell me that that's happened to them, and it happens a lot to them. And I was just like, whoa, because I know for myself, I'm not a Pisces in the first house, but for myself, I feel like I'm a person where I would really desire 6 feet of distance at the minimum. That's just who I am. Like 6 feet is my circumference that I safe space around me. If you've broken in that through that barrier, I'm like, all my alarms are going off, let alone having you that close where you can touch my hair or a part of my body, right? So I can't even imagine. Like I can't even freaking comprehend how that feels. Yeah, I'd be pulling out the knives. I'd be like, back the hell up. So, the other thing I have to mention here is chaos is connected with your Mercury, which is why I think this is a big deal for you. Fate is also connected to it. So this is all part of the eclipse. This eclipse is about an ending and a closure and a release and a let go. It's about understanding. It's about severing once and for all. This is a release eclipse, folks, but it's a release that promises a new beginning. It's not just a full-on release. It's a release that promises we're bringing in the new. We're making room for the new, okay? But because it's in Pisces, it's like the final sever. And sometimes we simply do it by understanding and forgiveness, and that's how it finally is released, because it is through that release and that forgiveness where we realize by not forgiving, we were the ones that kept ourselves bonded and chained to the past, as opposed to thinking the forgiveness was about being like, oh, well, it's okay that you did that. I forgive you. No, that's not what it's about, right? It's about freeing one's self from that past. Okay. So again, because it's in your first house, you may do something different with your appearance as well. Some people cut their hair. Some people just change their clothes. Feet and shoes is a Pisces thing. Sensitivities to their feet is a big thing. Ankle is a big thing for people who have Aquarius on the ascendant. My ankle. Okay. Ankles. Calves. That's Aquarius energy. And so are nerves as well. And again, with the Pisces sensitivities, you don't need me to tell you anything. But yeah, your appearance is where you're doing a release and a let go. Okay. Yep. If you have a pet, yep. Yeah. And it just means there might be a new routine because it's 6 degrees in your chart. So a new routine, health routine, a new routine involving the pet. Whatever your job is, there just might be some switching up that's going on. Maybe it's you just establishing space with you and coworkers. It can be that as well. So does that make sense for you? Yeah. Yeah, a new beginning. But this new beginning requires a release. And the release can simply be me coming to terms and seeing the big picture. So we kind of get an aha with Pisces energy. It's an energy I really love, other than it being a very creative energy, which means you could also be a new creative endeavor, right? But being creative with your looks and maybe a tired look, something you used to think was whatever, and now you're like, oh, I don't want that anymore. It can definitely give a dramatic flair. Okay. This may even involve your long-term goals because I'm looking at this again, you have a huge stellium from that eclipse point. You've got so many planets, 3, 6, 7, and 10, 2 things at 10. So there's a huge stellium here, and it's all going to be a part of it because everything's close enough. So that 10 degrees objects you have is about your long-term goal, boss energy even, okay? But long-term creative goals, and maybe feeling like there were structures and something you were building for, but even slowdowns and restrictions. So if there's a release, that means I'm seeing how those delays, how I may have actually benefited from those delays. Okay. Again, about the physical body, the appearance, and location when it's in the first house. So does that satisfy that for you? Okay, good. Okay. Yeah. Well, you sent a channel gift. I just wanted to make sure that it made sense for you and that it satisfies that for you, because I think that, when people show me this first house stuff. The other thing too is you have a big kite at the top of that. All that Pisces stellium, it's at the top of your kite in your chart. You have that big ass kite there. Let me throw that up there really quick. I don't know if you can see all that, but yeah, you can. Your kite starts down here at vertex at 3. You see that? And so at the top of the kite, you got vertex at 3. Well, that's where the eclipse is. It's close to that, right? And then you have Mercury at 6, and you have this at 7, and these two at 10. So you have your moon over here at 4. You have something in Taurus over here at 4, something at 6. So you have a really big kite here, and it's part of your spiritual journey. So maybe meditation and prayer and belief, establishing a new routine involving those things. It's, you really want to kind of take a combination of all the keywords that I've mentioned, because your free will is a thing. It's how you use it, how all this expresses for you. All right. But a spiritual journey and some depth here. If you haven't been working on that and doing that, how do we apply that to our physical body? Well, maybe it's spiritual activity, spiritual actions, maybe leading in a spiritual manner. even if it just means like a big brother, big sister kind of role if we don't have children, right? Or spiritual leader kind of thing. Because the first house is how we act, but also how we lead with our physical body. And it always begins with intention, right? Right words, right thoughts, right deeds. Like that's the thing. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. And I hope it connects for you. And we are moving on. I got a little bit time left. We're going on to the next, which I think is Stephen. I think I saw him. Can I ask navigating the nodes in Jupiter? Stephen, are you in my system already? I think, yeah, Stephen, I think you're already in my system. I think I recognize you. Yeah. All right, let me get Stephen up here. Venus, by the way, again, thank you for the channel gift. Appreciate it. All right, so let's get over there and let's get Stephen on the screen. And so Stephen's going to be the last chart for the evening. And these are speed readings. These are free readings. We do this a couple of times a week. Every other Saturday we're here. Unless there's some crazy, weather-related emergency. We don't have electricity or some shit, But short of that, we've been actually really good. Short of craziness with being able to do this. So put your alerts on if you didn't get a reading tonight and you wanted one. Make sure that you put that little freaking bell thingamajigger on. That way, anytime I go live, you get an alert and it'll let you know, because I don't really have a schedule other than every other Saturday. I try to go live a couple of times during the weekday. Okay. Monday through Friday between like 9 and 5. And those are surprise live streams. All right, Stephen. Are you July 20th, 1999? I think he already said he was. Let's double check. Yeah. Great. Let's get your chart in here. All right. So Stephen said, I got my question. And my question is how to navigate the current nodes and Jupiter. All right. Okay. Let's take a look at the chart. Let me get some water real quick. Okay. Let's go and take a look at this. Well, look at the big kite in Stephen's chart. Look how strong it is. It's not just like a regular kite. It's got 3 lines supporting it through the whole thing. Holy concentrated. Wow. Okay. And then you have another mini trine right here, which supports, oh, geez. Okay. 0 degrees, 0 degrees. Wow. So, all right. So usually when people have this many kites, it creates like a Merkaba energy in the chart, which usually means even when we come across some stress and tension for these individuals, things kind of just happen and kind of just work out. It might not be identical to, what they had in mind, like the details of it. But at the end of the day, because of the spiritual journey, like they understand the mission, they get it. They're like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. I see how I got from A to B to then all of a sudden I'm at E, connecting the dots from the past to the present to the future. So your concern is the nodes and Jupiter, and the nodes are going through your 5th and your 11th house, and you're going to have a nodal reversal, and that's the concern. This means there's a change. So it's friends and group energy is where the change is happening. But also, it is more friends and group energy in the 5th house too, but even how you're creative. And this would be probably big for you because you have Uranus that's going to trigger this. So what I'm going to do really quickly, we might have to come back to get more information another time, because just with the nodes going through your 5th and your 11th house, children, fun, joy, creativity, romance. How do I feel like a kid, right? Feeling like a kid again. That's in 2 locations in your chart. And so it's both those areas in your life. Learning, teaching, group energy. A lot of folks with this placement, they work with group energy in some way. Whether it's seniors, whether it's teaching, whether it's, something within a group. Yours probably technology. You have Uranus and Aquarius. Yeah. Can be astrology, of course, and space and science. Can be some of that AI stuff and whatnot. Supply chain stuff. It could be that with Aquarius and airlines and just technology in general. Let me give you a really quick so that we can see when these are going to meet up here. Oh, hold on a second. Oh, you know what? Maybe I better do it this way. Hold on. Okay, so this is probably going to happen for you. Do you have anything at... Okay. Do you work for institutional energy? You don't have to be like out loud about it in the chat, but you have like the Neptune and the Aquarius stuff. So whether it's in communications, governments, um, 5. Okay, and then your Mercury is there. Okay, so that would have already happened. And then it's going to get to the 1 degrees. All right. Looks like there's a change coming. Things are getting blurry and confusing. I think that's probably why you're here tonight, because this node is touching this Neptune, and Neptune makes things blurry and fuzzy and confusing. And the future and your ideas, your dreams, but friendships may be something. This is social services, social systems. This may even be energy that we use to volunteer with. So it just depends on how you're using this. But your Mars will be going through your 9th house. So this is like in a week. You're already in it, but this node is here to disrupt stuff. Okay. So there might be some boss energy involved, extreme independent energy. And this talks about a wound. Talks about a wound with authority figures, and maybe even a wound over your own creativity. But definitely friends and group energy keeps coming up, okay? So whether you have creative friends, whether you're creative, however you use all this creativity, which please tell me you use your creativity. And if you're not, then please start doing it, because hopefully the nodes going through here have kind of done that for you. You already had the nodal reversal in that chart, but you're going to have it again in the other chart. So I feel like you're going to be experiencing something that you've already experienced. Yeah. Okay, so here's a different chart. This is saying that you're about to experience it. So what I want you to ask yourself is, what have you experienced within the last 12 months in terms of friends and group energy? In terms of unconventional, different, and independent energy and breaking free in my creative stuff, in terms of technology, working with technology, whether it's literally you're a techie or, the AI crap or supply chain stuff or space or science, medicine, um, astrology. Yeah. Whatever it is, airlines, global systems, inventions. Okay. So whatever that is, you have two charts, and in the two charts, you've already experienced some of this other energy within the last 12 months. And now for the next 18 months, you're going to experience it again, but it's like a part two. It's like to follow up and to like really hit it home. So the change that you already experienced, there's more change to it. Like the change wasn't complete, it wasn't enough. Okay, so that's going to be happening for the next 18 months. So be open to the change. It's almost like the energy of being a surfer, which is unpredictable. And you just have to understand this is just the reality of it. I have to go with the flow. Otherwise, I can get pulled under and drowned by it all, right? You got to be able to pivot and be creative and expect the unexpected. So that's what I'm saying. That's how you navigate that for the next 18 months in friends and group energy and being creative. Children can be part of this. So whether your work involves children or seniors who are like children, right? There's a lot of different ways this can look, but there might be some, institutional and medicine and substances that might be part of this with Uranus and Neptune here. Yeah. But even, yeah, it just really comes down to how you're creative. And so that's how you handle that energy. Just one thing I want you to remember is that with the 11th house too, this is the house of gains. So the more you're open to the changes, the more, I should say, the less stubborn, the less fixed, the less you resist the changes, the more good that's going to come forward for you. You follow? You got a lot of Leo energy in your chart. And there's a lot in Leo, right? Because Jupiter's going to be going through there, the South Node. Like I said, we'll have to take another little look at this another time because we're over time now. But don't resist the change. Expect different and new. And that may be me being the boss, me being the authority figure, somebody else being the authority figure. But boy, Leo in the 11th house, holy shit. These folks are like, I am the authority figure for sure. So that can be kind of challenging energy for anybody to have to navigate that. That can be very, very challenging. This is overall, this is a challenge to all of your fixed energy in your chart, your values, your money, your shared values, your shared income. It squares your Taurus and your Scorpio stuff. And so all of this being fixed, it says you have to be willing to change and to release the attachments, And so going in with that state of mind will probably get you pretty far. Okay. Yeah. So that's my long, short answer. All right. Oh, the fixed energy wants to know. It's, when you think about it, right? It's the nodes are squaring your Taurus and your Scorpio, right? Your Saturn's in Taurus, so it's like, I need to know. This is based on my finances. I need to know where this is headed. Like it doesn't like surprises. It just doesn't. It's fixed energy. So yeah, you have a Scorpio moon at 0. Oh my god. Yeah. Attachments. Yeah, it's very fixed energy, and so it's a challenge. It's a challenge to that energy. At the end of the day, it says the energy wants to shatter all that has become crystallized because it's outdated, it's old, it's rigid, it's not growing because it's just become so set in its ways. You follow? Yeah. It's hard energy. It's hard energy. I've been in this cycle and it's a pain in the ass. It's a pain in the ass. It's like, really? Holy crap. Now what do I not have? you know? So if you're willing to roll with the punches and to understand that change is the whole point, well, if that's the case, then it's like, all right, well, okay, shit, time to change again. You follow? Yeah, I agree. Okay, I'm glad it helps. I hope it makes sense. But just knowing that timeline will also help you too. Okay. All right, guys, we are done. We're a little bit over, and I'm definitely not in the mode to go any longer tonight. So we're going to come back again this week, provided I don't have any emergencies, provided we have power and internet up, which we should, but we're not really in the clear yet until I think after Wednesday. We're just in a crazy storm cycle. So with all that said, we'll meet here again, sometime in the next few days is my goal. All right. So come back again next time. Make sure you got your alerts on. We do speed readings. These are free readings. Every now and then somebody leaves a channel gift. I spend more time on their chart. All right. But this channel is here to basically help as many people as possible because not everybody can afford a 90-minute, $300 reading. And that's on the low end. That's not an exaggeration. For any astrologer who's worth their shit, that's what they're going to charge for a one-on-one session. Okay. And that's pretty, it's steep. People work hard for their money. I get it. So with that said, we are ending, and come back again sometime so that we can do this again and help the channel continue to help you. All right. We're all set. Have a good night, everybody. Stay safe. Bye-bye.